So the first thing that we're going to review are the warm-up movements. These are Tai Chi inspired, not necessarily Tai Chi movements, but the idea is to move slow and spend more time on one leg at the moment that we transfer momentum. So the first movement is from the bottom. Let's take this step forward, place a foot into the floor, and then follow through with an arm extension. Retrace, bring the leg back, and step back. Repeat. Step, stop, extend. We want to perform about 6 repetitions on each leg. I'm going to show you from the lateral view. Take a step. Extend and rotate if possible. Bring the leg back and step back. The next movement is a lateral movement. We start with our feet together, bring the step to the side, stop, and extend. Leg back, step, extend. Back to the center. And back to the side. 10 repetitions total, or 5 on each side. Next thing that we're going to do is bring the leg up and the opposite arm at the same time. Slowly return. And let's perform 3 slow repetitions on each side. We're going to follow through with the squat. For the squat, we want the hips to move back first, the chest to stay up, the back to be flat. So the hips go back, and we counterbalance by extending the arms forward. Breathe in. Squat down. The other thing that we want to watch for, knees. We don't want the knees to come in towards the middle or come in towards the outside. And we want both heel and toe to be on the ground. The next exercise, starting from the middle, we take a step diagonally to the front and we reach down as if we were about to pick up something and come back. Alternate, take a step, reach down and back. Take a step, reach down and back. Take a step, reach, and come back. Next, we're going to do the same lateral step as we did in the second exercise, but we're going to reach with the opposite arm. So, a step, reach, back to the middle. 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 And those are our warm-up exercises. Following next, I'm going to demonstrate a couple other modalities that we use in the class. Number one is the step. So for the step, remember this exercise that we did in the warm-up? We're going to do the same exact exercise, but taking a step. So we take the step, bring the knee up, and slowly bring the leg down, back to the ground. Now what we want to do, if it's too hard to do this, we can either bring the leg a little bit lower, place it down back in the step, and then take the step back. Or simply bring the leg up and step down. So we have level 1, level 2, and level 3 all the way up. Another exercise is, instead of going vertical, we're going to go horizontal in this position. Take a step, bring the leg back, and the arm forward. I'm going to demonstrate the same exercise from this position. Leg goes back, and the opposite arm moves forward. Next, we have lateral steps. Steps. Both feet onto the step and come down with both feet to the side of the step. Top of the step, side of the step. Top of the step, side of the step. We can make this exercise a little more difficult, but perhaps carrying a medicine ball or a dumbbell, or lowering ourselves closer to the ground, having our hands up here, and we put a little more resistance on the legs. But it's the same: in, down, up, down. Next, I'm going to move the step out of the way, and I'm going to bring a chair. We're going to practice the same exercise, the extension back, holding onto a chair. And it can be a chair, it can be a wall, anything that you would like to do to create extra support. Leg goes back, and the opposite arm, see it from this side, this knee, this arm, back. And then you go back to full extended position. And up. Let's see it from this side. And we want to do about 6 to 8 repetitions per side. Once we have our chair over here, we're going to proceed to demonstrate hip circles. So this is to increase mobility around the hips. And what we do is bring the leg to the side and back. And as I mentioned before, we can do this with the support of a chair or a wall. I'm going to demonstrate it from this view. Back, out to the side, back around. Let me see it posteriorly. And one more time, finally, to the side. And that's the hip circle going backwards. Now we do another hip circle, this time going in the reverse direction. So we were doing this before. Now we're going to start by extending and bringing the leg in. So any type of support helps. Imagine that I had a wall here and I can be a little more vertical. Perhaps that's a little bit better because I'm not in this position. but I'm here, which is better for my spine. And those are the step and either wall or chair exercises. On this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate a few strength exercises that we can use utilizing minimum equipment. Number one is going to be a core attached to any stable surface. So what we're going to do is bring the core back. So I don't have it necessarily attached to an ideal surface, but for the purpose of this video, I just wanted to concentrate on the movement itself. So the movement can be done in two different ways. One is simply by bringing the cores back, emphasizing on not doing this, but rather rowing in this direction without shrugging the shoulders. Another thing that we can do is have the palms down, and at the moment that you row, switch in this position. Palms down, switch to the side. I'll demonstrate that. Palms down, and back. Palms down, and back. If we bring the palms up, another thing that we can do is curl. Keep the elbows down, and once again, no shrugging the shoulders. Keep the shoulders down, nice and stable. Extend the bend, and curl. We can do that same exercise with a couple of dumbbells. When we curl with the dumbbells, we can curl in different ways. This is a hammer curl, straight curl, but the one that I really like is the curl that adds rotation. So we get pronation, supination, flexion, extension, the four movements of the arm. So we start here, and we end up with the palms facing us. And as we lower the dumbbells, we rotate them so they finish with the palms facing us. Once again, 1, 2, and 3. Another exercise that I like with the dumbbells is simply walking with them. You can do, you can walk with 2 dumbbells, one on each hand, or you can do a little contralateral load, like a suitcase carry, and just walking around, putting a little more weight on one side. You can walk backwards, walk forward, and so forth. On this next video, what I'm going to demonstrate is medicine ball push-ups. So what we do is we put the ball right on the wall, and this is important to, I prefer to hold on to the ball in this position with the wrist extended versus something like this, which can put a lot of pressure on the wrist itself. So let's do a bear hug grip. Down with the chest and pushing up. A key element in this is to also contract the stomach. So we're working the stomach and the upper body at the same time. The body comes down in a diagonal pattern, so we don't want something like this or something like this. We want chest first, but the whole body in one line and pushing up. Next, preferably for me, I would have a higher wall. Obviously, you can always improvise by going lower to the ground, but the idea is to lean on the ball, roll it up, roll it down. And as you can see, I'm not doing this. I'm simply rolling it from my hands into my forearms. And every time that I move the ball up, I should feel my stomach contracting. Every time that my stomach elongating into contraction. And when I bring the ball down, the stomach shortens and also contracts. Finally, I'm going to review a few more exercises with the medicine ball. The first one is the squat down to a ball extension. Down, up, down, up. See the same exercise from the side. Down, ball goes in between the feet. And you bring the ball up as high as you can. If this is if you're afraid for any shoulder pre-existing conditions that you might have, there's no need to go all the way up. We can just simply finish right here. Otherwise, we can go all the way up. Another way to tweak this exercise is we bring the ball to the side like this and rotate it sideways. Back to the side and up, across, up and across, down and across. The key on this is that I am actually lifting this opposite heel every time that I bring the ball upwards, like this. So you see it from this side. Next one, we're going to do a rotation, and we're going to have the same consideration for the ankles as the other exercise. So what we do is we bring the ball from one side to the other side, rotating and lifting the opposite heels every time that we move the ball to one side. Here, here, and here. With the same idea, instead of going across, let's do a pendulum. In this exercise, I can add a little dip like this. It's not necessary. You can simply do the pendulum without the dip, or dip in and come out. Finally, we can sit down on the ball and work on our pelvic rhythm. This is lumbopelvic rhythm, which allows us to control the pelvis through the core and start getting comfortable with sitting on the ball. From this position, it's good to maintain awareness of the nice aligned spine with a good contracted core, and we can do our breathing exercises by taking deep breaths, arms up. Inhale up. And then we can simply progress by putting the ball to the side and finish up with a big deep breath. At the moment that you bring the arms down, exhale down, and let's reach down towards the floor. As slow as you can go, nice and relaxed, feeling the stretch all the way through the hamstrings, relaxing the upper body, then rolling all the way up.